Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Ron Tyler with the Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. There's been a major earthquake hit in Alaska. A major earthquake has hit in Alaska within the last 45 minutes. This is a major 8.7 magnitude earthquake. At least that's what they're telling us. Okay, I've done a bunch of research now. I think I know what's going on. Okay, this may not be, okay, I'm going to repeat that. This may not be as large as they are saying. This may not be as large as they are saying. I have reason to believe it may be a little less potent. Okay, I have reason to believe that this may be a little less potent earthquake, but the USGS has come out and said that this is a major 8.7 magnitude earthquake. Now, this is a tectonic plate earthquake. This is a tectonic plate earthquake. There are tsunami warnings all around the Pacific that have been put out. There also is a lot of worry, okay? Tsunami warnings been put out. Buoys across the entire Pacific Ocean are in play here. Let's bring out the National Buoy Center here. This is the National Buoy Center, and as you can see, there are active buoys all along the western side of the Pacific Ocean, going all the way down to Indonesia. Buoys are in play all the way down to Indonesia, all the way down into northern Australia as well. Again, this is a major earthquake. As you can see over here on the west coast of the United States, there's buoys in progress right off the central coast of California. This is a major event. There are buoys up and down all across the Aleutian Islands, all the way up into central Gulf of Alaska. Buoys going off all over. This was a tectonic plate earthquake. Okay? Please don't pay attention to the hurricanes off in the Central Pacific. That has nothing to do with tonight's broadcast. But you all need to be aware that there are cyclones in the Pacific Ocean as well. But this has nothing to do with tonight's broadcast right now. Right now, we're talking about an 8.7 magnitude earthquake that has occurred off the southeast Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia. Okay, we showed you that just a few minutes ago. This is a major news story. We need to be aware of it. Now, with that said, let's go over and look at the Tsunami Warning Center. Let's find out what the Tsunami Warning Center has to tell us. This is a tsunami warning that has been issued for the state of Hawaii. Again, this is a tsunami warning issued for the state of Hawaii. Okay, this is in the Central Pacific. If anybody gets hurt, it's going or injured, or if anything happens, it will be first in Hawaii before it gets anywhere else. That and Alaska. Okay, an earthquake has occurred with these preliminary parameters. The originating time was 01:25 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Okay, 1:25 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, July 29th. The coordinates are there. Location is off the east coast of Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. Magnitude 8.7 earthquake. A tsunami warning has been generated. They say a tsunami has been generated. Okay, that could cause damage along the coastlines of all islands in the state of Hawaii. Urgent action should be taken to protect lives and property. A tsunami is a series of long ocean waves. Each individual wave can crest and last 5 to 15 minutes or more. Each wave crest can last as long as 5 to 15 minutes or more and extensively flood coastal areas. The danger can continue for many hours after the initial wave as subsequent waves arrive. The tsunami wave is not just one wave, it's the subsequent waves, many waves. Tsunami wave heights cannot be predicted, and the first wave may not be the largest. Tsunami waves efficiently wrap around the islands. All shorelines are at risk no matter which direction they face. The trough of a tsunami wave may temporarily expose the seafloor. The trough of a tsunami wave may temporarily expose the seafloor, but the area will quickly flood again. Extremely strong and unusual near-shore currents can accompany a tsunami. Debris picked up and carried by a tsunami amplifies its destructive power. Debris picked up and carried by a tsunami amplifies its destructive power. Simultaneously high tides or high surf can significantly increase a tsunami hazard. The estimated arrival time in Hawaii of the first tsunami wave is 0:17 p.m., 7:17 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Further messages will be issued hourly or sooner as conditions warrant until the threat of Hawaii has passed. Further messages will be issued hourly or sooner as conditions warrant until the threat to Hawaii has passed. That's for Hawaii. This is just for Hawaii. Okay, let's take a look at the tsunami forecast for the west coast of Canada and the United States, meaning the North American continent. Let's take a look at that. Okay, this is it. Public tsunami message number 2. The National Tsunami Warning Center, Palmer, Alaska, has issued at 5:19 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, which was now just about an hour ago. A tsunami has been confirmed and some impacts are expected. Revised alert areas, revised magnitude. The tsunami warning is now in effect. The tsunami advisory remains in effect and a tsunami watch is now in effect. Not just a warning, but a watch is also in effect. A tsunami warning in effect for Aleutian Islands, Smolga Pass, Alaska, 30 miles southwest of Nikolsky to Attu, Alaska, including the Pribilof Islands. The tsunami advisory in effect for South Alaska and the Alaska Peninsula. The Pacific coastlines of Chignik Bay, Alaska to Unamak Pass, Alaska, 80 miles northeast of Unalaska. That's in the southern Alaska Peninsula. Aleutian Islands, Unamak Pass, Alaska, 80 miles northeast of Unalaska to Smolga Pass, Alaska, 30 miles southwest of Nikolsky. Tsunami watch in effect for California. The coast from the California-Mexican border to the Oregon-California border, including San Francisco Bay. Oregon, the coast of Oregon-California border to the Oregon-Washington border, including the Columbia River estuary coast. Washington, the outer coast from Oregon-Washington border to Slip Point, Columbia River estuary coast, and the Juan de Fuca Strait coast. British Columbia, the north coast and Haida Gwaii, the central coast and northeast Vancouver Island, the outer west coast of Vancouver Island, Juan de Fuca Strait coast, southeast Alaska, the inner and outer coast from British Columbia, Alaska border to Cape Fairweather, Alaska, 80 miles southeast of Yakutat, South Alaska and the Alaska Peninsula, Pacific coast from Cape Fairweather, Alaska, 80 miles southeast of Yakutat to Chignik Bay, Alaska. Preliminary earthquake parameters. Again, preliminary earthquake parameters. I said that twice. The following parameters are based on rapid preliminary assessment of the earthquake and changes may occur. Again, I'm going to repeat, changes may occur. Magnitude 8.7 earthquake, just like we said a few minutes ago. This is significant. This is very significant. Give me just a second here. Okay. Again, an 8.7 earthquake. The original time it hit was 15:25, 3:25 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time today. Okay. Depth, 46 miles. The depth of this major earthquake is 46 miles deep, 315 miles southwest of the Bering Sea. Komodorsky, 80 miles southeast of Petropavlovsk, Kamchatka Peninsula. The forecast is tsunami activity. Tsunami activity is forecasted to start at the following locations at the specified times. Please note these times if you live in these times. Okay. Forecast start of tsunami. Alaska. Shemya, Alaska, 4:40 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time. All these times will be Alaska Daylight Time. Adak, Alaska, 5:40. Unalaska, 6:45. St. Paul, 6:55. Sandpoint, Alaska, where we had that 7.4 earthquake just about a week and a half ago, 9:25 p.m. tonight. Cold Bay, Alaska, 8 p.m. Kodiak, 8:20. Seaward, Alaska, 8:45. Elfin Cove, 8:50. Yakutak, Alaska, on southeastern Alaska, 8:55 p.m. Sitka, 8:55. Valdez, 9:05. Cordova, 9:05. 9:15. Cordova, 9:15. Homer, 9:40. Craig, 9:55 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time. Let's talk about British Columbia now. Langara, British Columbia, 10:05 p.m. Pacific Time. Tofino, 23:30. Washington State, Wapush, 11:35 p.m. Okay, 11:35 p.m. Pacific Time is about 3 hours from now. Nia Bay, 11:40 p.m. Long Beach, 23:45, 11:45. Moclips, 11:50. Westport, 11:55. Port Angeles, 12:20 a.m. Port Townsend, 12:45 a.m. Bellingham, Washington, 1:10 a.m. Tacoma, Washington, 2 a.m. Let's look at Oregon. Port Orford, Oregon, 11:40 p.m. Charleston, 23:40 p.m., 11:45 p.m. Brookings, Oregon, 11:50. Seaside, Oregon, 11:55. Newport, Oregon, 11:55. Let's look at California. First, Fort Bragg, 11:50 p.m. tonight, Pacific Time again. Crescent City, 11:55. Monterey Bay, 12:15. Port St. Louis, 12:35. San Francisco Bay, 12:35. Santa Barbara, actually 12:40 San Francisco Bay. Los Angeles Harbor, or Santa Barbara, 12:50 a.m. Los Angeles Harbor, 1:05 a.m. Newport Beach, 1:10 a.m. Oceanside, California, 1:15 a.m. La Jolla, San Diego, 1:15 a.m. Observations of tsunami activity. No tsunami observations are available to report. Nobody's seen the tsunami wave except for maybe boats out at sea. Recommended actions. Jot this information down. Recommended actions. Actions to protect human life and property will vary within tsunami warning areas and within tsunami advisory areas. If you are in a tsunami warning area, evacuate inland. Evacuate inland to a higher ground above and beyond the designated tsunami hazard zones. If For example, if you are in La Jolla, California, you must go to higher ground immediately. Go to higher ground immediately. Do not wait for that tsunami wave to even get closer. Go above La Jolla Cove. Go way above La Jolla Cove. For you people in Oceanside, Oceanside is basically an ocean town. Go way inland to San Luis Rey. Go way inland to San Luis Rey. Okay? Evacuate inland to higher ground and above and beyond designated tsunami hazard zones, or move to an upper floor of a multi-story building, depending on your situation. If you are in a tsunami warning or advisory area, move out of the water, off the beach, and away from harbors, marinas, breakwaters, bays, and inlets. Be alert to and follow the instructions from your local emergency officials, because they may have more detailed or specified information for your location. If you feel a strong earthquake or extended ground rolling, take immediate protective actions, such as moving inland or uphill, preferably by foot. Boat operators, remember this. I know quite a few people that are boat operators up and down the West Coast. Where time and conditions permit, move your boat out to sea to a depth of at least 150 feet deep. If it's sea, avoid entering shallow water. Avoid entering harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets to avoid floating, submerged debris and strong currents. Do not go to the shore. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Do not return to the coast until local emergency officials indicate that it's safe to do so. If you are in a tsunami watch area, prepare to take action and stay alert for further information. Impacts. Impacts may vary at different locations in the warning and in the advisory areas. If you are in a tsunami warning area, a tsunami with damaging wind, waves, and powerful currents is possible. A tsunami with damaging waves and powerful currents are possible. Repeated coastal flooding is possible as waves arrive on shore. Move inland. Move inland and get away from the ocean waters. Okay? The ocean waters will drain back into the ocean. Stay away from the ocean. Strong and unusual waves, currents, and inland flooding can drown or injure people and weaken or destroy structures on land and in the water. Water filled with floating or submerged debris can injure or kill people, and it can weaken or destroy buildings and bridges as possible. Strong, unusual currents and waves in harbors, marinas, bays, inlets may be especially destructive. If you are in a tsunami advisory area, a tsunami with strong waves and currents is possible. Waves and currents can drown or injure people who are in the water. Currents and beaches in harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets may be especially dangerous. The currents at the beaches, the currents in the harbors, the currents in the marinas, bays, and inlets may be especially dangerous. If you are in a tsunami warning or advisory area, some impacts may continue for many hours to days after the arrival of the first wave. The first wave may not be the largest, so later waves may be larger. Each wave may last 5 to 45 minutes as a wave encroaches and recedes. As a wave encroaches on land and then recedes. Coasts facing all directions are threatened because of the waves, and the waves can wrap around islands, headlands, and into the bays. Strong shaking or rolling of the ground indicates an earthquake has occurred and the tsunami may be imminent. A rapidly receding or receded shoreline, meaning water has left the shoreline. Unusual waves and sounds and strong currents are signs of a tsunami. The tsunami may appear as water moving rapidly out to sea. A gentle rising tide like flood with no breaking water, no breaking waves. as a series of breaking waves or a frothy wall of water occurs. Again, the tsunami may appear as water moving rapidly out to sea, then a gentle rising tide like flood with no breaking water, no breaking waves, as a series of breaking waves or a frothy wall of water will occur. Additional information in the next update. Refer to the internet site Tsunami.gov for more information. Pacific coastal residents outside California, Oregon, and Washington, and British Columbia and Alaska should refer to the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center messages at Tsunami.gov. This message will be updated within 60 minutes. Given that, I'm going to take you back in just a second. I'm going to go back here and check the next tsunami warning, see if it has been given out yet. I'm going to ask for all of you to submit your questions to me. Okay, I'll be happy to come back and answer any questions. I'm not leaving the air. Again, I'm not leaving the air. I'm going to stay here and answer questions for you. This is basically the first tsunami we've ever had from a tectonic plate earthquake. Again, tonight's earthquake off the southeast coast of Kamchatka Peninsula is a tectonic plate earthquake. Just like we were expecting over at the Cascadia megathrust earthquake zone around offshore from Seattle Tacoma area. This is a tectonic plate earthquake. I want to emphasize that. This is a tectonic plate earthquake. Okay, just a second here. Okay, I got back to the beginning of that one. I'm going to leave that one right here for you. So please stand by with me for a second. Okay, they've had issued a tsunami warning number 3. Let me get that for you. Okay, I've got tsunami warning number 3 up right now. Again, this is tsunami warning number 3, issued today at 6:27 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The tsunami warning remains in effect. The tsunami advisory remains in effect. The tsunami warning in effect for the Aleutian Islands, Samalga Pass, Alaska, 30 miles southwest of Nikolsky to Attu, Alaska, including the Pribilof Islands. Tsunami advisory in effect for California, the coast from the California-Mexican border to Oregon-California border, including San Francisco Bay. Oregon, the coast from the Oregon-California border to the Oregon-Washington border, including the Columbia River estuary coast. Washington State, the outer coast from the Oregon-Washington border to Slip Point, Columbia River estuary coast, and the Juan de Fuca Strait coast. British Columbia, Canada, the north coast and Haida Gwaii, the central coast and northeast Vancouver Island, and the outer west coast of Vancouver Island. The Juan de Fuca Strait coast, South Alaska, and the Alaska Peninsula. Pacific coast from Chignik Bay, Alaska to Unamak Pass, Alaska, 80 miles northeast of Unalaska. Aleutian Islands, Unamak Pass, Alaska, 80 miles northeast of Unalaska to Samalga Pass, Alaska, 30 miles southwest of Nikolsky. Alerts in the following areas have been canceled because additional information and analysis has better defined the threat. The tsunami watch is canceled for the coastal areas of southeastern Alaska and South Alaska, and the Alaska Peninsula from British Columbia, Alaska, border to Chignik Bay, Alaska. Again, the tsunami watch is canceled for the coastal areas of southeast Alaska and South Alaska and the Alaska Peninsula from BC, Alaska border to Chignik Bay, Alaska. For other U.S. and Canadian Pacific coasts in North America, there is no tsunami threat. Again, for other U.S. and Canadian Pacific coasts in North America, there is no tsunami threat. Forecast of tsunami activity. A tsunami wave has been generated. The first waves are forecasted to arrive at the following locations and specified times. A forecast tsunami duration is the approximate length of time which a tsunami may produce dangerous currents and waves. The forecast max tsunami wave height is the highest expected water level above the high tide. Forecasts are not provided for the sites which have been impacted more than an hour prior to the arrival time of the message. Start of the tsunami. Forecast tsunami duration. I'm not going to read the durations. I'm not going to read the max tsunami wave height except once. Shimya, Alaska. 4:40 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time. All these times are Alaska Daylight Times. All these times are Alaska Daylight Times right now. Shimya, Alaska, 3 to 5.6 feet, 3 to 5.5 feet high. ADAC is expected at 5:40 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time with 1 foot 3 inches to 2.5 feet high. That's not much. Unalaska, 6:45 p.m., less than 12 inches. Unalaska, less than a foot. St. Paul, 9 inches to 1.7 feet. Sandpoint, Alaska, less than a foot high. Cold Bay, Alaska, less than 1 foot. British Columbia, Langara, it's going to arrive at approximately 10:05 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, less than a foot. Tofino, it's going to arrive at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, less than 12 inches. Washington, La Push, 23:35, which is 11:35 p.m. Nia Bay, 11:40 p.m., less than 12 inches. Long Beach, 11:45, less than a foot. Mole Cliffs, 11:50 p.m. 8 inches to 1.4 feet, 1 inch, 1 foot, 4 inches, which is 16 inches. Sorry, 16 inches. Westport, going to arrive at 11:55 tonight, less than 12 inches. Port Angeles, 12:20 a.m. this morning, less than a foot. Port Townsend, going to arrive at 12:45 a.m., less than 12 inches. Bellingham, Washington, less than a foot. Tacoma, supposed to arrive at 2 a.m., and we don't have any reading for a tsunami wave. Oregon, Port Orford, 1.1 feet to 2 feet, 1 foot and 1 inch to 2 feet high. Charleston, Oregon, 11:45 a.m., less than 12 inches. Brookings, Oregon, 1 foot to 20 inches high. Seaside, Oregon, 11:55 p.m., no height wave, no height put out here. Newport, Oregon, 11:55 a.m. California, Fort Bragg, it's going to arrive at approximately 11:50 p.m. tonight, 8 inches to 1.5 feet. Crescent City, 3 foot to 5.7 foot high, 3 foot to 5.7 feet high. Monterey Bay, 12:15 a.m., less than 12 inches. Port Louis, 12:35 a.m., 1.7 to 3.2 feet high. Santa Barbara, actually San Francisco, less than 12 inches. Santa Barbara, going to hit at 12:50 a.m., 9 inches to 1.7 feet. Los Angeles Harbor, going to hit at 1:05 a.m., less than 12 inches. Newport Beach, 1:10 a.m., less than 12 inches. Oceanside, less than 1 foot. La Jolla, 1:15 a.m., less than 1 foot. Observations of tsunami activity. No tsunami observations are available to report because no one has seen the tsunami wave. The magnitude of the earthquake was 8.7. This was a tectonic plate earthquake. Depth of 46 miles. It's a shallow depth. That's why this earthquake is going to be so powerful. Location 315 miles southwest of the Bering Sea. Recommended actions updated. Actions to protect human life and property vary within the tsunami warning areas and within tsunami advisory areas as well. If you're in a tsunami warning area, evacuate higher to inland ground above the level of the ocean. That's what you need to be doing. Michael Kearney just gave us a $50 super chat. Michael, thank you so much. I'm giving you a EMA sticker on your super chat, and I'm also giving you a thumbs up for that $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Michael. God bless you. We appreciate that a lot. If you are in a tsunami warning or advisory area, move out of the water, off the beach and away from harbors, marinas, breakwaters, bays, and inlets. Be alert to and follow instructions from your local emergency officials because they may have more detail or specific information for your location. If you feel a strong earthquake or extended ground rolling, take immediate protective actions, such as moving inland and or uphill, preferably by foot. Boat operators. This still pertains to boat operators. Where time and conditions permit, move your boat out to sea to a depth of at least 100 feet. To a depth of at least 100 feet. 180 feet, 180 feet. This is important. This is very important. Give me just a second. I've got to do something real quick here. Okay, now I'm current here. I'm sorry. Michael Kearney just also gave 10 Emergency Management Associates gift memberships. We appreciate that, Michael. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. That means the world to us, Michael. I want you to know that. Now, guys, this is important. I know we have new people here on the chat, new people monitoring this channel. Please, guys, please give us a subscription to our program. Subscribe yourself to the program. It's very important. And when you subscribe, hit the little bell icon right next to the subscription button. There's a little bell icon. When you do that, there's a drop-down menu of 3 items that are going to come up. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you subscribed and also notified when we come on the air. We usually come on the air about sometime after 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and on Sundays, we do a special Sunday school class about 12:30 Eastern Time. All times are Eastern. After 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, and after 12:30 p.m. for our Sunday school class on Sunday. That's what we do. Continuing. Again, if you feel a strong earthquake or extended ground rolling, take immediate protective action, such as moving inland or uphill, preferably by foot. Boat operators, where time and conditions permit, move your boat out to sea to at least a depth of 180 feet. If it's sea, avoid entering shallow water, harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets to avoid floating or submerged debris and strong currents. Do not go to the shore to observe the tsunami. Do not go to shore to observe the tsunami. Do not return to the coast until local emergency officials indicate that it is safe to do so. Okay, impacts. Impacts will vary at different locations in the warning and in the advisory areas. If you are in a tsunami warning area, a tsunami with damaging waves and powerful currents are possible. Repeated coastal flooding is possible as waves arrive onshore, move inland, and the water drains back into the ocean. The water will arrive at the shoreline, and it will move inland and then drain back into the ocean. Okay? Strong and unusual waves, currents, and inland flooding can drown or injure people and weaken or destroy structures on land and in water. Water filled with floating or submerged debris can injure or kill people, and weaken or destroy buildings and bridges is possible. Strong and unusual currents and waves in harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets may be especially destructive. If you are in a tsunami warning advisory area, a tsunami, strong waves and currents is possible. Waves and currents can drown or injure people who are in the water. Currents at beaches and in harbors, marinas, bays, inlets may be especially dangerous. If you are in a tsunami warning or advisory area, some impacts may continue for hours to days after the arrival of the first wave. The first wave may not be the largest, so later waves may be larger. Each wave may last from 5 to 45 minutes as a wave encroaches on the shoreline and recedes. Coastal areas facing all directions are threatened because the waters can wrap around islands and headlands and into the bays. Strong shaking or rolling of the ground indicates that an earthquake has occurred and a tsunami may be imminent. A rapidly or receded shoreline, unusual waves and sounds and strong currents are signs of a tsunami. The tsunami may appear as water moving rapidly out to sea, and then gently rising tide-like flood with no breaking wave. As a series of breaking waves or even a frothy wall of water is possible. If you want additional information, refer to the internet site Tsunami.gov for more information. Now I'm going to go back to the Hawaii warning here to make sure that Hawaii is cleared. Yes, they have been given tsunami warning number 3. I'm trying to bring that up right now. Okay, I've got it. Here it goes. Sorry, guys, it's taking me a little bit to get this here. Okay, I'm just going to give this to you. I'm having a hard time getting it downloaded. This is for Hawaii. Tsunami message number 3, National Weather Service Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, Honolulu, Hawaii, 2:43 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Hold on a second. I think I can bring this up for you. No, it's still playing games. I'm sorry. Tsunami warnings issued for the state of Hawaii effective at 2:43 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. An earthquake has occurred with these preliminary parameters. Again, it happened at 01:25 p.m. Actually, not 01:25, that would be in the morning. It happened at 1:25 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Magnitude 8.7 earthquake. A tsunami wave has been generated that can cause damage along the coastlines of all islands in the state of Hawaii. Urgent action should be taken to protect lives and property. A tsunami is a series of long waves, long ocean waves. Each individual wave can crest at least 5 to 15 minutes or more and extensively flood coastal areas. The damage can continue for many hours after the initial waves as subsequent waves arrive. Tsunami wave heights cannot be predicted. The first wave may not be the largest. Tsunami waves efficiently wrap around the islands. All shorelines are at risk, no matter which direction they may face. The trough of a tsunami wave may temporarily expose the seafloor, but the area will be quickly flooded again. Extremely strong and unusual near-shore currents can accompany a tsunami wave. Debris picked up and carried by a tsunami amplifies its destructive power. Simultaneous high waves, high tides, or high surf can significantly increase the tsunami hazard. The estimated arrival time in Hawaii of the first tsunami wave is 7:17 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time today. Further messages will be issued hourly or sooner as conditions warrant until the threat of Hawaii has passed. That is the tsunami warning for Hawaii. Now I'll continue to update that as the coastal areas of the U.S. and Canada coast are up. Now I just saw the threat number 4 for the U.S. and Canada. Give me a second here. Now I've gotten the advisory for British Columbia and Alaska border as of 9:27 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time. Now, Papua New Guinea. This tsunami wave may come up in Papua New Guinea at 9:50 p.m. tonight. Papua New Guinea. 3 inches to 1 meter high. 3 inches to 1 meter high, 3 feet high. Tokelau, 3 inches to 1 meter high. Fiji, 3 inches to 1 meter high. American Samoa, 1 to 3 meters. Jarvis Island, 1 to 3 meters. Howland Islands have been issued for 3 inches to 1 meter high. Pitcairn Islands, 3 inches to 1 meter high. Kiribati, 1 to 3 meters high, 3 foot to 9 foot high. Okay, that's where it ranges all the way down in the southern part of the Pacific Ocean. Now, let me try to bring up the U.S. Canadian Pacific Coast threat here. Arsad, it's good to see you again. Linda Covington is here. Smart But Patriot is here. Smart But Patriot says San Francisco is under the tsunami watch. Now, guys, there has been a different attitude shifted by the U.S. Tsunami Warning Center, or the International Tsunami Warning Center. San Francisco is basically on a watch, not a warning. Okay? This message is issued for information only in the support of the UNESCO Pacific Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System. National authorities will determine the appropriate level of alert Just a second. I'm trying to bring this up for all of you. It's playing my screenshot here, or download here is playing games here. Hold on a second. Gosh, come on. Apparently, the National Tsunami Warning Center has included other places besides the west coast of North America. So I'm going to give you a lot of information here. Oh, you stupid thing. Okay, it just disappeared. It just disappeared. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to try to make this a bit easier here. Nope, that's not it. What I'm going to do once this comes back up here, I'm going to give you the information for US Canada Pacific Threat message number 4. You guys just bear with me for just another second. I should have this. I hope. I'm just going to read it because it's giving me problems trying to do a screenshot of it. Come on, crazy thing. Okay, this is it. Okay. This message has been issued for information only in support of the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and Mitigation System. It's meant for national authorities in each country of that system. The tsunami forecast is updated in this message. Again, it was an 8.7 earthquake. Earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 8.7 magnitude has occurred on the east coast of Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. The tsunami waves have been observed. Based on all available data, hazard tsunami waves have been forecast for some coasts. Tsunami waves reaching more than 3 meters above the tide level are possible along some coasts of Ecuador, northwestern Hawaiian Islands, and Russia. Tsunami waves reaching 1 to 3 meters above the tide level are possible along some coasts of Chile, Costa Rica, French Polynesia, Guam, Hawaii, Japan, Jarvis Island, Johnston Atoll, Kiribati, Midway Island, Palmyra Island, Peru, Samoa, and the Solomon Islands. Tsunami waves in excess of 1 to 3 meters in that area. Tsunami waves reaching 0.3 to 1 meter above the tide level are possible for some coasts of Antarctica, Australia, Chuuk, Colombia, the Cook Islands, El Salvador, Fiji, Guatemala, Howland and Baker, Indonesia, Kermadec Islands of New Zealand, Kozray, the Marshall Islands, Mexico, Nauru, New Caledonia, New Zealand, Nicaragua, NIUE, Northern Mariana Islands, Palau, Panama, Papua New Guinea, the Philippines, Pitcairn Islands, Pohnpei, Taiwan, Tokelau, Tonga, Tuvalu, Vanuatu, Wake Island, Wallis Futuna, American Samoa, and Yap. Some tsunami waves are forecast to be less than 0.3 meters above the tide level. Brunei, China, the DPR of Korea, Malaysia, Republic of Korea, and Vietnam. Actual amplitudes at the coast may vary from forecast amplitudes due to uncertainties in the forecast and local features. In particular, maximum tsunami amplitudes at atolls, on atolls, and at locations with fringing or barrier reefs will likely be much smaller than the forecast indicates. For other areas covered by this product, the forecast has not been yet occupied or computed, and forecasts will be expanded to necessary areas in subsequent products, meaning there will be another message here. Recommended actions. Government agencies responsible for threatened coastal areas should take action to inform and instruct any coastal populations at risk in accordance with their own evaluation procedures and the level of threat. Let me repeat that. Government agencies responsible for threatened coastal areas should take action to inform and instruct any coastal populations at risk in accordance with their own evaluation procedures and the level of the threat. Persons located in threatened coastal areas should stay alert for information and follow instructions from national and local authorities. Estimated arrival times, ETA, of the initial tsunami wave for places within the designated regions are given in this warning area. Actual arrival times may differ, and the initial wave may not be the largest. A tsunami is a series of waves, not just one wave, but is a series of waves. And the time between waves can vary between 5 minutes to 1 hour. Russia, Severokursk, Russia, the Kuril Islands. This is forecast to happen at 1:10 a.m. Russian time. Kushiro, Japan, 1:32. Hachimoto, I know I butchered the name, 2:12 a.m. Katsuhira, 2:22. Chichichima, 0303, 3:03 a.m. Midway Island, 3:27 a.m. Gastello, Russia, 3:39. Sapporo, Japan, 3:40 a.m. Shimizu, 03:44 a.m. Wake Island, 03:50. Nobukoa, Wake Island. Nobukoa, Japan, 03:50 hours. I'm going to jump down to Luzanski, Northeast Hawaii, 03:55 hours, 3:55 a.m. Laysan, Northwest Hawaii, 4:02 a.m. French Frigate, Northwest Hawaii, 4:32 a.m. Saipan, 4:39 a.m. Okinawa, 5 a.m. Hualien Island, Taiwan, 5:19 a.m. Taitung, Taiwan, 5:24. Honolulu, Hawaii, 5:31 a.m. Yap Island, Yap, 5:32 a.m. Kahului, Hawaii, 5:37 a.m. Hilo, Hawaii, 5:55 a.m. Ladong, Philippines, 06:07 a.m. Fernando, Philippines, 6:27 a.m. Nauru, 6:40 a.m. Davao, Philippines, on the island of Mindanao, Philippines, 6:40 a.m. Helen Island, 6:54 a.m. Let's go down here. Cotabato City, the Philippines, 7:18 a.m. Rabaul, Papua New Guinea, 7:33 a.m. Canton Island, Kiribati, 7:33 a.m. Christmas Island, Kiribati, 7:52 a.m. Jarvis Island, 8:01 a.m. Solomon Islands, Kirakira, Solomon Islands, 8:22 a.m. Santa Cruz Islands, Solomon Islands, 8:35 a.m. Manila, Philippines, 8:45 a.m. Futuna, Wallace Futuna, 8:54 a.m. Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, 9:50 a.m. Anatom Island, Vanuatu, 9:56 a.m. Rarotonga, Cook Islands, 10:31 a.m. Ruau Island, Kermadec Islands, 11:01 a.m. Acapulco, Mexico, 11:40 a.m. North Cape, New Zealand, 12:13 a.m. or 12:13 p.m. tomorrow morning. Sydney, Australia, 12:30 p.m. Gisborne, New Zealand, 12:34 p.m. Port Taronga, New Zealand, 12:52. Wellington, New Zealand, 12:58. Wangari, New Zealand, 1:07 p.m. Gladstone, Australia, 1:09. Auckland, West New Zealand, 1:15. Puerto Madero, Mexico, 1:15. Marlborough, South Island, New Zealand, 1:19 p.m. Lapeer, New Zealand, 1:22 a.m. 1:22 p.m. 1:22 p.m. Puerto Sardina, Nicaragua, 2:04 p.m. Puerto Guaypas, Costa Rica, 2:15 a.m. Cabo Matapalo, Costa Rica, 2:18 p.m. Punta Barica, Panama, 2:29 p.m. Stewart Island, New Zealand, 2:47 p.m. Westport, New Zealand, 2:39 p.m. Lytton, New Zealand, Lyttlton, Lytton, New Zealand, 3:08 p.m. Punta Hala, Panama, 3:15 p.m. Balta Island, Ecuador, 3:20 p.m. Tumaco, Colombia, 3:52 p.m. Talara, Peru, 4:25 p.m. La Punta, Peru, 5:35 p.m. San Juan, Peru, 5:49 p.m. Antofagasta, Chile, 7:16 p.m. on July 30th. Coral, Chile, 10:24 p.m. Golfo de Peñas, Chile, 9:04 p.m. Puerto Montt, Chile, 11 p.m. tomorrow night. Potential impacts. This is message number 4, potential impacts. A tsunami is a series of waves. The time between wave crests can vary from 5 minutes to an hour. The hazard may persist for many hours or longer after the initial wave. Canadian Patriot 1, my buddy Dave, is asking the question, are they playing games? Are they hiding the facts again? I don't think they're totally hiding the facts. They may be hiding some information, they may not be hiding others. Okay, it's hard to say by reading this tsunami warning message. Okay? There has been a tsunami wave observation from coastal areas and or deep ocean sea level gauges at the indicated locations. The maximum tsunami height is measured with respect to the normal tide levels. Okay? At some places, the tsunami wave has been measured at 0.28 meters to 0.9 meters. Another tsunami buoy is measuring it from 0.9 meters to 3.0 feet. Interesting. The next tsunami message will be issued in 1 hour or sooner if the situation warrants. Okay? Coastal areas of Hawaii, American Samoa, Guam, and other areas should refer to Pacific Tsunami Warning Center messages specifically for those places that can be found at www.tsunami.gov. Coastal regions of California, Oregon, and Washington, British Columbia, and Alaska should only refer to the U.S. National Tsunami Warning Center messages that can be found at tsunamiwarningcenter.gov. Tsunami.gov. Tsunami.gov. That is message number 4. That is the latest message that we have. Now, I'm going to go back here and refer back to that in just a minute. I've got other information I have to show you here. Okay, I want to refer to helioplots. Those of you that have been with me for 6 years know what helioplots are. Okay, helioplots are like seismograms. Helioplots are like seismograms in various areas of the world. Now, in various areas of the world, we see these helioplots. For example, this helioplot came from the epicenter of the earthquake near Petropavlovsk, Russia. Notice that this tsunami, I'm sorry, not this tsunami, this helioplot is almost completely blacked out. Again, this was a tectonic plate earthquake. The plate moved, and moved in a big way. Jamie Wilkes says, Ron, I live in Seattle, Washington. Right now, you guys in Seattle are sitting just pretty, okay? You're not going to be bothered by too much of a wave, if any. They said 3 inches high, 3 inches to 1 foot high. That's not much. So you guys in Seattle should be sitting pretty right now. But again, what I'm showing you now is a helioplot showing that earthquake as it was registered at Petropavlovsk, Russia, the epicenter of this earthquake. Notice that this particular helioplot is almost completely blacked out. Almost completely blacked out. Now you have to remember that this was an 8.7 earthquake by their standards. Not Russia's standards, but the US standards. Okay? Now, why do I say that? I have information that you may not have. I have information that you might not have. My information says this. Okay? And I hate like all get out saying this. I really do. I don't trust the agency. I do not trust the agency one whit. I have reason to believe that the agency has failed us. I have reason to believe that the agency has failed us again. Okay? Now, what I'm going to show you is the images I have from the USGS's own website. Okay? This comes from the seismologist back page of the seismologist working data sheet. Okay? Let me show it to you. Okay, it says an 8.7 earthquake up here in the left-hand top corner. Petropavlovsk, Russia. Kamchatka, Russia. Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. Magnitudes, let's look at this. Magnitudes, 8.7 earthquake. Then down here we have 7.1. 7.1. Notice this. The 8.7 has 160 stations reported, but no station details. No station details. This is what the USGS does. Yes, they report the earthquake at a specific magnitude, but they almost never give us exactly what the warning stations would show. Those stations here, the 160 stations that it has here, are actual seismographs. They're actual seismographs. They're showing 7.1 earthquake. They say this was an 8.7. So I came down here and I clicked on download. I clicked on download. Let me show you this. Look at this. 7.16, 7.39, 6.96, 7.32, 6.98, 7.36, 7.16, 7.41, 7.3, 7.39, 7.12, 7.23, 7.05, 7.61, and a 7.15. I went through this entire summary here. I went through the entire summary here, guys. 1,117 stations. Not once Not once did it have an 8.0 or large earthquake. Most of these magnitudes were between 1.16 and 1.67. 7.16 and 7.67. They didn't even come up to the magnitude of 8.7. They did not come up to the magnitude of 8.7 at all. This is why I don't trust the agency. I don't trust the agency any further than I can throw them. I don't trust the agency any further than I can throw them at all. The United States Geological Survey has failed. It's failed. They're not reporting earthquakes at all. They say they're reporting earthquakes, but they're not putting out the information. They're hiding it. They're hiding the information. Surgery says volcano discovery says 8.0. I don't even believe discovery. I don't believe volcano discovery at all. Yes, when it comes to volcanoes, most of the time they give out righteous information. But as for what is happening here, I believe they failed us. Yes, they reported an 8.7 earthquake, but they're not showing it. They're not showing it at all. Now, I'm still waiting for message number 5 to come up. They said it may or may not come up. They said if there's message number 5, they'll put it out. Let's go back here to the helioplot. This is Petropavlovsk, Russia. This helioplot is almost completely blacked out. This is typically what we'd see at the epicenter of the earthquake. We've seen this kind of stuff before. Let's go south to Korea, Incheon, Korea. Look at this. Not completely blacked out, but close to it. Not completely blacked out, but close to it. This is directly south of Kamchatka Peninsula. Okay? Then let's go over to Cathedral Cove, Missouri. Cathedral Cove, Missouri. Look at this. It's not blacked out at all. And in fact, there's holes. There are holes here. Okay? Let's go over to Samoa. Look at this. Same thing here. On the right side of that hole, it's almost blacked out. On the right side, on the left side, it's almost blacked out. On the right side, it's very thin. That's from American Samoa. On the southern side of the hemisphere. Okay, that's Samoa. Let's go to Hockley, Texas. Look at this. On the left side, it's more blacked out than on the right, and in the middle, we're still open up. This leaves me to wonder exactly what happened. I've never seen seismic or helioplots like this before. I've never seen helioplots like this before. Charlene is asking why the wide gaps. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I've never seen these wide gaps ever. Not ever. I've been doing this for 6 years. Let's look at Hawaii. Kipapa, Hawaii. Look at this. The same thing here. On the left side, we have almost a complete blackout. We still have an area here in the middle that's completely open. And on the right, it's not blacked out at all. Like I said, I've never seen this before. Now I want to go to Outpost, Alaska. This is directly across the ocean from Russia. Directly across the east side of the Pacific Ocean in Alaska. Look at this. Outpost, Alaska, in the center of Alaska. The left side of this helioplot is almost blacked out. We still have an area in the middle that's completely opened up. And on the right side, we have more openness here. Like I said, I've never seen this before. Usually, the entire helioplot is blacked out. Almost the entire helioplot has been blacked out in the past. Let's keep going here. I want to show you Corvallis, Oregon. Corvallis, Oregon. Look at this. Same thing here. Yes, here we are closer to Kamchatka Peninsula. This is the west coast of Oregon. Okay? We're seeing the same thing here. I want to go over to Spitsbergen, Norway on the other side of the world. Spitsbergen, Norway on the other side of the world. Look at this. Unreal, guys. This is totally unreal. Let me enlarge this for you here. This Norway. Almost blacked out on the left-hand side, and on the right, it's opened up. Just like the other helipods. This is insane. This is totally insane. I've never seen it like this before. Never. Never. Does anybody have any questions about anything I've shown you tonight? Does anybody have any questions about anything we showed you tonight? Michael Kearney says, why is this, Ron? Why blacked out? Guys, with an earthquake of this magnitude, the entire helioplot should be blacked out. The entire helioplot you see here should be blacked out. It's not. Anna says her Shake app says 8.8, which is 0.1 magnitude higher than the 8.7. That almost doesn't surprise me. Grace, for her purpose, says, wow, in Hockley, Texas. I agree. I totally agree. Now, Hockley, Texas, and Oak Ridge, Massachusetts have been very reliable to us in the past. And also that location over in Norway as well, Spitsbergen, Norway. That's been very reliable. But what we've seen tonight is very unreal. Very unreal. We've also been able to see things over in Atlanta, Georgia as well. Today, they have the Atlanta website blocked out. Don't know why. Nano Watchman says the white gap means they erased the information. I don't know. I don't know. They may have. Look on the right side of this helioplot here. Look on the inner right side of this helioplot here. It's as if they start over. They blocked it out and started over. You see that indentation on the left-hand side of that right side? The center of that right side? It's as if they start over. Renee Steffi says rush hour in Hawaii impacting evacuations. They hardly have anything going on in Hawaii. They said it might be up to 12 inches high. They don't have much to worry about in Hawaii at all. Smart Butt Patriot says they have the gap all over the world. Yes, you're right. It's literally all around the world. It's not just here in the United States, it's worldwide. That's why I have real problems with it. Michael Kearney is asking, is it a reboot? I tried that. I rebooted it. I refreshed it. The same thing happened time after time. Okay, it's as if they wanted to make it this way. They wanted to put it this way totally. It's insane. It really is insane. As I said before, I've never seen it before like this, ever. Ever. But again, they say we have had an 8.7 earthquake on Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. An 8.7 earthquake in Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. That would be a big deal. Should be a big deal. Should be a very big deal. But the problem is Problem is this. It's if they don't care. They don't care. Now you can see these red dots on the USGS map. Watch these red dots on the USGS map. What we're seeing here are aftershocks. Aftershocks. Aftershock after aftershock after aftershock here. Okay, let's enlarge this a little bit. You still have the blue earthquake here. The red earthquakes are aftershocks. Aftershocks that happened just recently. This one is a 5.5 large quake. This is a 5.4. This one here is a 5.1. That's a 5.1. This one further south here is a 5.5. Then we have one that went down just about 8:55 right after this earthquake hit. This is a 5.6 earthquake. We go back up to the center here. I'm going to show you these earthquakes here. This is a 5.8. This earthquake is a 5.8. These are large earthquakes. This is a 5.7. This is a 6.3. This is a 6.9. This is a 5.4. This is a 5.4. This is a 5.5. And further north here, this is a 4.7 moderate quake. This is a 4.8. As the aftershocks went north, the magnitude significantly dropped. As the aftershocks moved north, the severity of the earthquake dropped. Now, these earthquake aftershocks here up north did not affect anybody on land. They had no effect for anybody on land. They were out in the ocean. This earthquake I have highlighted in blue is 144 miles northeast of Petropavlovsk, Russia. This one here is 105 miles east-southeast. There's no way this is east-southeast. This is east-northeast. USGS has this east-southeast. It's not. It's invariably not. The main quake is further south. This one is north. This should be 105 miles east-northeast of Mikovo, Russia. Unreal. Unreal. But USGS does whatever they please. That's a given. We've seen this happen day after day, time after time, with these earthquakes here all over the globe. USGS does not give us good data at all. At all. They misidentify earthquakes. They misidentify locations of earthquakes and volcanoes for that matter. They can't make up their mind where they're at. But one thing is certain is this. USGS has labeled this as an 8.8 earthquake now. An 8.8 earthquake here off of Kamchatka Peninsula. They raised the magnitude level. They now say it's an 8.8 magnitude earthquake. Regardless of what their backside seismologist study page says, 8.8 earthquake here. Now a watchman's asking how high in Kauai. Let me check. Let me check on that. Okay, they still have not put up tsunami warning number 5. They may not. They may not do that. Let me go back here to Tsunami.gov, Hawaii. Message number 4. As soon as it comes up, geez, go figure. Okay, the tsunami watch is canceled for the coastal areas of southeastern Alaska, South Alaska, and the Alaska Peninsula from British Columbia, Alaska border to Chignik Bay, Alaska. For other U.S. and Canadian Pacific coasts in North America, there is no tsunami threat. Now let me just see if they will come up with tsunami warning number 4 for Hawaii here. I clicked on it, but it did not immediately come up. I do not know why tsunami not. Let me do this. Let me refresh this. It's frozen. So I'm going to start Tsunami.gov over here. Okay, just a second here. Hawaii, there we go. Okay, just a second here. Okay, I refreshed it. This is the last tsunami evaluation they gave for Hawaii. Let me move this down here. Okay, we got it. To emergency management in the state of Hawaii. Tsunami warning supplement. A tsunami warning continues in effect for the state of Hawaii. An earthquake has occurred with preliminary magnitudes here, preliminary parameters is here, for origin at 0125, which is 1:25 in the afternoon Hawaii time. Magnitude 8.7, even though the USGS has now put it at 8.8. Came out as an 8.7. Okay. Measurements or reports of tsunami wave activity. DART, which is the number of the tsunami buoy, 21414, 0.28 meters high, to 0.9 feet. 0.9 feet is 9 inches high. DART 21416, 0.9 meters, 3 feet high. We've seen latitude, longitude, time element here. Note, DART measurements are from the deep ocean, and they are generally much smaller than would be of coastal measurements at similar locations. Evaluation. A tsunami has been generated that could cause damage along the coastlines of all islands in the state of Hawaii. Urgent action should be taken to protect lives and property. Again, this is tsunami warning number 4. A tsunami is a series of long ocean waves. Each individual wave can last 5 to 10 minutes or more and extensively flood coastal areas. Danger can continue for many hours after the initial wave occurs, as subsequent waves can arrive. Tsunami wave heights cannot be predicted, and the first wave may not be the largest. Tsunami waves efficiently wrap around the islands. All shorelines are at risk, no matter which direction that they may face. The trough of a tsunami wave may temporarily expose the seafloor. but the area will be quickly flooded again. Extreme, strong, and unusual nearshore currents can accompany a tsunami. Debris picked up and carried by a tsunami amplifies its destructive power. Simultaneous high tides can accompany a tsunami. Debris picked up and carried by a tsunami amplifies its destructive power. Simultaneous high tides or high surf can significantly increase the tsunami hazard. The estimated arrival time in Hawaii of the first tsunami wave is at 7:17 Hawaii time tonight. 7:17 Hawaii time tonight. I believe that's approximately in another hour. Further messages will be issued hourly or sooner as conditions warrant until the threat of Hawaii is passed. Anybody have any questions? That is the latest message from Tsunami.gov in regards to Hawaii. Everything else along the west coast of North America has gone past. Maximum wave is 3 inches along the west coast of North America. Smart Butt Patriot says, Michael, in general, since 2 different sets are overlapping and this is peak, they should all be over the sky and some of the trails will remain for a long time, so it should be stars into art. Interesting. Brokefish N says Crescent City, California, 2350, which is 11:50 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. 2.9 to 5.4 feet. Okay, I just found message number 4 again. Let me take a screenshot of it and I'll put it up here for you. Okay, I just got up. This is the last Tsunami.gov message we got. This is message number 4. Okay, the tsunami warning remains in effect. The tsunami advisory remains in effect. Aleutian Island, Samolga Pass, Alaska, 30 miles southwest of Nikolsky, Alaska, Attu, Alaska, including the Pribilof Islands. Tsunami advisory in effect for California. The coast from California to Mexican border to the Oregon-California border, including San Francisco Bay. Oregon. The coast from Oregon to California border to Oregon-Washington border include the Columbia River estuary coast. Washington. The outer coast from Washington-Oregon border to Slip Point, Columbia River estuary coast. And the the Juan de Fuca, I keep wanting to say San Juan, it's a Juan de Fuca Strait coast. British Columbia, north coast and Haida Gwaii, central coast and northeast Vancouver Island, the outer west coast of Vancouver Island and Juan de Fuca Strait coast, South Alaska and the Alaska Peninsula, Pacific coast from Chinook Bay, Alaska to Unimak Pass, Alaska, 80 miles northeast of Unalaska. Aleutian Islands, Unimak Pass, Alaska, 80 miles northeast of Unalaska. To Samolga Pass, Alaska, 30 miles southwest of Nikolsky. or other U.S. and Canadian Pacific Coast, North America. There is no tsunami threat. Again, there is no tsunami threat. Forecasted tsunami activity. A tsunami has been generated. The first waves are forecasted to arrive at the following locations at specified times. The forecasted tsunami duration is the approximate length of time which a tsunami wave may produce currents and waves. Forecast max tsunami wave height is the expected water level above the high tide. Forecasts are not provided for sites which may have been impacted more than an hour prior to the time of this message. Forecast start of tsunami, ADAC, 5:40 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time. Unalaska, 6:45. St. Paul, 6:55. Sandpoint, 7:25. Cold Bay, 8 p.m. ADAC, 1.2 to 2.2 feet. Unalaska, less than 12 inches. St. Paul, Alaska, less than 12 inches. Sandpoint, less than 12 inches. Cold Bay, less than 12 inches. British Columbia, Canada, Langara, happens at 10:05 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. 10:05 p.m. is about 3 hours from now. That is less than 12 inches as well. Tofino, Alaska, less than 1 foot at 23:30, 11:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, which is another 3 hours from now. Oregon, Port Orford, all times are Pacific Daylight Time, 3 hours from now. Port Orford, 23:35, 11:35, 1 to 1.8 feet high. Charleston, 11:45, less than 12 inches. Brookings, Oregon, 11:50 p.m. 8 inches to 1.5 feet. Seaside, 11:55, no data. Newport, Oregon, no data, 11:55. Washington, Wapush, no data. Neah Bay, 11:40 p.m., less than 12 inches. Long Beach, less than 12 inches. Westport, less than 12 inches. Moorlips, 7 inches to 1.3 feet, 15 inches high. 7 inches to 15 inches high. Port Angeles, less than 12 inches. Port Townsend, less than 12 inches. Bellingham, Washington, less than 12 inches. Tacoma, no data. California, Fort Bragg, 11:50 p.m. Michael Kearney's just given another 5 EMA memberships here. Deb Smurfett, Ava, John Francis, Smart Butt Patriot, James, and Mark. All of you received memberships to our EMA program here on YouTube. Please, guys, please thank Michael Kearney for that. Thank you, Michael. God bless you, brother. Appreciate it. Fort Bragg, 11:50 p.m. again. This is 3 hours from now. 8 inches to 1.4 feet, basically 16 inches high. Crescent City, 11:50 p.m. also. 2.9 feet to 5.4 feet. Monterey Bay, 12:15 a.m., less than 12 inches. Port Louis, 2 feet to 3.8 feet. San Francisco, 12:40, less than 12 inches. Santa Barbara, 12:45, 7 inches to 15 inches. Long Beach Harbor, less than 12 inches. Newport Beach, less than 1 foot, less than 12 inches. Newport Beach is 1:10 a.m. La Jolla, San Diego County, 1:10 a.m., less than 12 inches. Oceanside, northwest San Diego County, 1:15 in the morning, less than 12 inches as well. Okay, now La Jolla is over in central San Diego County on the beach. Less than 12 inches. You folks at La Jolla Cove must make sure you're not in the parking lot or on the sand. 12 inches on the sand at La Jolla Cove could be over your ankles. Make sure you're not in the water. Make sure you're not in the parking lot at La Jolla Cove at all. Go to higher ground. Those of you that live in houses alongside or across the street from La Jolla Cove, maybe you need to stay indoors. Stay indoors in the upper story of your house. There's a lot of homes along the coastline in San Diego. Most of them have seawalls. But the people across the street from La Jolla Cove have no seawalls. All they have is a 6-inch curb. So you guys may want to protect yourselves in La Jolla from higher waves. It's only going to be less than a foot, but you may want to protect your homes. You may want to protect your homes. Observations of tsunami activity. This is updated. The observed maximum tsunami height is the highest recorded water level, above the high tide level at the time of this message. Kamchatka, Alaska, 8 inches. Hanasaki, Japan, 1.1 foot, 13 inches. Tukolsky, Russia, 2 inches. Preliminary earthquake parameters updated. 8.8 magnitude. 8.8 magnitude earthquake. Happened at 3:25 Alaska Daylight Time. Depth of 46 miles. That hasn't changed. Recommended actions. Action to protect human life and property. Heidi Petrick just gave us a $20 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Heidi. I'm giving you an EMA sticker on your super chat. I'm also giving you a thumbs up. God bless you, Heidi. Thank you ever so much. Very much appreciate it. Michael Kearney, you've done it again. Michael Kearney just gave another 5 Emergency Management Associates gift memberships to 5 more people. My buddy Rob52 is here. Rob, thank you for being here. Rob called me while I was on the air, and I dismissed his call because I knew he'd probably show up. And Rob, we can talk about this a bit later. Rob52 is here. Kanita Warrior, George R., David Lowe, Juvie Joe, Shirley and Saban has all received 1-month memberships to our EMA program here. Thank you for that. Thank you for that a lot. We appreciate it. Now, if you are in a tsunami warning area, evacuate inland to a higher ground location above and beyond designated tsunami hazard zones or move to an upper floor of a multi-story building, depending on your situation. If you are in a tsunami warning or advisory area, move out of the water, off the beach and away from harbors, marinas, breakwaters, bays, and inlets. Be alert to and follow instructions from your local emergency officials, because they may have more detailed information and specific instructions for your location. If you feel a strong earthquake or an extended ground rolling, take immediate protective actions, such as moving inland or uphill, preferably by foot. Boat operators, or time and conditions permit, move your boat out to the open sea at a depth of 180 feet deep. If at sea, avoid entering shallow water or harbors, marinas, bays, inlets, or avoid floating or submerged debris and strong currents. Do not go to the shoreline to observe the tsunami. Do not return to the coast until local emergency officials indicate that it's safe to do so. Impacts. Impacts are going to vary at different locations in the warning and in the advisory areas. If you are in a tsunami warning area, a tsunami with damaging waves and powerful currents is possible. Repeated coastal flooding is possible as waves arrive on shore. They move inland and then the waves drain back into the ocean. Either way, If you're at a location and a tsunami arrives, you need to move farther inland. If you're in the water when the tsunami goes back to the shoreline, be advised you may get dragged back into the ocean. The best thing for you to be is not anywhere near the tsunami at all. Strong and unusual waves, currents, and inland flooding can drown or injure people and weaken or destroy structures on land and in the water. Water filled with floating or damaged debris, submerged debris, can injure or kill people and can weaken or destroy buildings and bridges as possible. Strong, unusual currents and waves in harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets may be especially destructive. If you are in a tsunami advisory area, a tsunami with strong waves and currents is possible. Waves and currents can drown or injure people or in the water. Currents at beaches and harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets may be especially dangerous. If you're in a tsunami warning or advisory area, some impacts may continue for many hours or even days after the arrival of the first wave. Each wave may last from 5 to 45 minutes as a wave encroaches and recedes. Recedes meaning the wave leaves and goes back to the ocean. Coasts facing all directions are threatened because the waves can wrap around islands, headlands, and into bays. Strong shaking or rolling of the ground indicates an earthquake has occurred, and a tsunami may be imminent. Rapidly receding shoreline, unusual waves and sounds, and strong currents are signs of a tsunami. The tsunami may appear as water moving rapidly out to sea, a gentle rising tide like flood with no breaking wave, as a series of breaking waves or a frothy wall of water. Additional information in the next update. Refer to the internet site Tsunami.gov for more information. Pacific coastal residents outside California, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, and Alaska should refer to the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center messages at Tsunami.gov. They said this message would be updated within 60 minutes. Let's go back to the Tsunami Warning Center right now. Let's check that. All we have are tsunami warning number 3 and 4. 2, 3, and 4, that's it. That means they have not updated to a 5th tsunami warning. Now they should be putting out another advisory shortly. Since they put out advisory number 4, they may on this next advisory say there's no tsunami warning at all. They may cancel it. Now I have something else to say here about the tsunamis. Okay, you need to be very careful. Let me scroll back up here and show you something. Okay, right here, where it says strong shaking or rolling ground indicates an earthquake has occurred and a tsunami may be imminent. I want to make this clear. I want to make this very clear to everyone. If there had been a major tsunami warning with high waves, the high waves themselves could generate an earthquake. The high waves could generate an earthquake. I want to make that clear. Even though that's not going to happen tonight, it could happen at a different location and a different time. A large tsunami wave could generate an earthquake. Why am I saying that? We've talked about a catastrophic earthquake up in Washington, Oregon area. And that catastrophic earthquake could trigger the San Andreas Fault as well, going from Northern California all the way down into Mexico. That earthquake could generate a massive tsunami, upwards of 90 to 150 foot high. That size wave and displacement of water could possibly cause an earthquake. Can you imagine a 90 to 150 foot wave crashing on land? That in and of itself, that huge amount of water, heavy as it is, could cause an earthquake. I'm just throwing that out there. I thought everybody should know about it. I thought everybody should know about it. John Francis is asking, what is my forecast like for next month? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water here. All right. Okay, my thinking is this, and I appreciate if everybody would stick around for this. I believe this is important. Guys, we have seen a lot of things happen. We've seen earthquakes happen before. I honestly think that we may have a major earthquake in California between now and the end of August. We may be having another major earthquake in California, possibly on the San Andreas Fault, probably in Southern California between now and the end of August. Why do I say that? We've seen major earthquakes in Southern California before the end of the summer. We've seen it happen. It happened in Northridge. It happened in Devore, California. It's happened in San Diego County. I shouldn't say San Diego County because it actually happened over in Imperial County, California, just east of San Diego. But the earthquake was felt in San Diego. It can happen. My belief is that we may have a major 7.0 plus earthquake, 7.0, 7.5 earthquake between now and the end of August. If it doesn't happen then, it will happen soon after. That's what I believe. I've analyzed all available data that points that direction. Even the scientists are saying the same thing. The scientists are saying there could be a major earthquake at any minute, imminent in Southern California. I've given you all kinds of information about that over the last few weeks. All kinds of information that I've found that the scientists have put out about the San Andreas Fault. Charlene is asking, Ron, please tell us at what point the low velocity zone is triggered, causing megaquakes. The low velocity is probably going to be an 8.0 quake. That's probably the low velocity, is an 8.0 quake. Paul McLennan says 7.0 between now and the end of August. I think it's going to be closer to a 7.5. I think that it's going to be closer to a 7.5. I have had the scientific evidence here on this program in the past few weeks. John Francis says we must be alert, brother. I totally agree. Everyone must be aware. Linda Moses is here in the chat saying 3 whales have washed up on the beach in Japan with a tsunami. That's interesting. That's interesting because they have already said the maximum tsunami wave would be 3 feet over in Japan. So if whales are washed up, it's because they were either too close to shore, or I'm going to say or here, or they were in a wave that washed them up on the shore. Okay. Smart But Patriots was talking to Rob in the chat here, saying she was in the Silmar quake. That was a Lulu. She was in 3rd grade. I agree. I was in San Diego at the time the earthquake hit. Unreal. Joseph, I agree. I totally agree. Rob, what do you think? Rob lived through both the 71 and the 1994 quakes. Incredible. Incredible. Rob lived through 2 quakes in Los Angeles, guys. He lived in LA. I've lived through 3 large 5.6 to 5.8 earthquakes in San Diego County. And that one 7.1 over in the Imperial Valley when I was doing an earthquake simulation drill in San Diego on April 3rd, 2010. Incredible. Incredible. Any questions, guys? We've been on the air now about an hour and a half, close to an hour and a half. John Francis has also experienced a few. Any questions, guys? I do not see Tsunami.gov putting up another tsunami advisory at all. They basically said there's no tsunami warning at all along the United States West Coast, the Canadian West Coast either, or Alaska. The only tsunami warnings are still in Hawaii, up to 3 feet high. Michael Kearney, I want to say thank you to you as well. God bless you. Arlo Pounders apparently sent us a PayPal donation to our Hotmail address. Thank you so much, Arlo. Appreciate it. Patriot, thank you for that. Thank you to me. I was notified by Rebecca that this earthquake had occurred. I was downstairs talking with Carol, and we were talking about all kinds of things, but not paying attention to this because we were talking about other things. Then Rebecca called me, and I immediately came upstairs and did some research to present the information to you. Again, what the USGS gave us was bull garbage. It was bull honky, bunch of BS. The helioplots were failed. I've never seen helioplots like that before, ever. They upgraded this earthquake to an 8.8. I've never ever seen that as well. Now, a few years back, about 4 or 5 years ago, we had an earthquake off of Sandpoint, Alaska. It was a 7.8 earthquake, similar to what we saw this past week and a half, south of Sandpoint, Alaska. Then we had an 8.7, almost immediately after that 7.8. 8.7 earthquake off of Sandpoint, Alaska. We didn't get much other earthquake data. We didn't get much other earthquake seismic information up in Anchorage either as well. Now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in Anchorage? Let me bring up the USGS map again. I want to show you this. Okay, I want to show you the full map here. That's why I just did this. See this earthquake, an 8.8 earthquake here? Let's go through the Aleutian Islands here. See all these tremors here? We have one 3.9, 4.0 earthquake here, 40 miles southwest of Adak, Alaska. Let's go further up here. After we had that 8.7 down here, just south of Sandpoint, Alaska, right here, 8.7 earthquake. That seismic energy did not transfer over here to either Anchorage or up here into the Gulf of Alaska. We did not see the energy transfer, which means that energy may be locked up here in the Gulf of Alaska. It may be locked up here or it's locked up here near Anchorage. Either way, I fully expect a major earthquake in Alaska very soon. I don't know when, but I expect a major earthquake here in Alaska very soon. Okay? That energy is locked up here in the Gulf of Alaska or around Anchorage. It's going to happen. We had a 7.0 earthquake in Anchorage, Alaska in 2019, summer 2019. I believe we're long overdue again. Brokefish Inn says tsunami advisory number 4. I've already given that out here. Actually, there's now a number 5 here. They have tsunami watch number 5 for Samoa, Waimea, for Hawaii, and now non-US Canada Pacific threat. non-U.S. Canada Pacific threat, which does not include Canada or the United States, non-U.S. Let me bring up the Samoa Waimea advisory here. No, let's bring up the Hawaii advisory here. I just brought up the Hawaii advisory again. Okay, let me take down the map here. Let me take down this map. Let me bring up Tsunami Watch number 5 for Hawaii. Okay, this is Tsunami Advisory for Hawaii. This is message number 5. Emergency management in the state of Hawaii, tsunami warning supplement. A tsunami warning continues in effect for the state of Hawaii. An earthquake has occurred with these preliminary parameters. 8.7 earthquake in Kamchatka Peninsula. Measurement or reports of tsunami wave activity. Hanaski, Hokkaido, Japan. 1 foot, 12 inches. Dart, 6 inches. Kushiro, Japan, 13 inches. Dart 21415. Dart is a tsunami buoy. Dart 21415 is 6 inches. Dart 21414, 9 inches. Dart 21416, 3 feet high. Amplitude is a tsunami amplitude measured relative to normal sea level. It is not crest to through wave height. Values are given in both meters and feet. Waves are given in both meters and feet. Period of time in minutes from one wave to the next. Dart measurements are from the deep ocean, and they're generally much smaller than would be at coastal measurements and similar locations. Evaluation. A tsunami has been generated that could cause damage along coastlines of all islands in the state of Hawaii. Urgent action should be taken to protect lives and property. A tsunami is a series of long ocean waves. Each individual wave can crest 5 to 15 minutes or more and extensively flood coastal areas. The danger can continue for many hours after the initial wave and subsequent waves arrive. Tsunami wave heights cannot be predicted. The first wave may not be the largest. Tsunami waves efficiently wrap around islands. All shores are at risk no matter which direction they face. Through the trough of a tsunami wave, no matter which direction it may face, the trough could expose the seafloor, but the area will quickly flood again. Extremely strong and unusual near-shore currents can accompany a tsunami. Debris picked up and carried by a tsunami amplifies its destructive powers. The debris in the water can amplify the wave's destructive powers. Simultaneous high tides or high surf can significantly increase the tsunami hazard. The estimated arrival time in Hawaii of the first tsunami wave is 7:17 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. I believe that could happen within the next hour. If I'm right, Hawaii is like 5 hours ahead of us, or behind us. 5 hours behind us. That would be approximately 12:15 our time here in the East Coast. Further messages will be issued hourly or sooner as conditions warrant until the threat to Hawaii has passed. That's it. That's all. The threat continues of possibly up to 3 feet of wave in Hawaii along most coasts. Any questions? That's the latest tsunami warning for Hawaii. Any questions? Guys, if you also want us to support us, please give us a thumbs up. If you like what you've heard tonight and you appreciate what we've done, tell YouTube about it by giving us a thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. Thumbs up is an indication that you like what we've done. YouTube also puts that as part of our analysis, whether they will let anybody here on YouTube see our program. It's part of the analytical factor. The amount of time you watch this program is also part of that analytical factor, and also the number of people that are watching our program. That's all part of the analytical factor. The longer you watch our program, the number of likes and the number of people that are here on our program matters a great deal. So please do that. Again, if you want to help support our program, go down here to the bottom of your screen and pick out the PayPal location where you want to send us support, and you can do that. Also, if you want to send us a letter here or card, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Also, if you have any suggestions, comments, or criticisms, you can send us to our email, rltnspdema@gmail.com. We'd appreciate that. Sage Pup says there are no reports for the West Coast, but then I heard no threat to the West Coast. What's your thoughts, Ron? Sage Pup, the most I've heard is maybe the 9-inch wave. Most I heard is a 9-inch wave. Most of it is 1 inch to 3 inches high. That's not much. The last time we had a tsunami hit the west coast of California, it was about the same thing. Only the marinas got higher waves. Yes, a 9-inch wave in a marina is kind of high. Now, the depth of the marina has a great deal to do with the wave height inside a marina. The depth of the narrow area of a marina has a great deal to do with that. And water did go up and over the piers in the marinas in Los Angeles and Santa Barbara. But we're told that those waves may be no higher than 9 inches. That's what the tsunami statement said for the West Coast. They've canceled the tsunami warning for the West Coast at all. No advisory, no warning at all is in place. Rick Smith is here. Thanks for being here, Rick. Appreciate it. My buddy Don is here. Don is one of my dearest friends. He lives in Santa Utah, where I used to live. He's a great man. He's a mod here on our channel. We appreciate it. Sergey is also living in Layton, Utah, northern Utah. Another great friend of mine. Rob 52 lives in Arizona. Another great friend. He's a brother. You all are brothers, guys. We love you. We love you. Love you very much. Does anybody have any questions about what we've told you tonight about the earthquake off of the southeast part of the Kamchatka Peninsula? We've had earthquakes there. This past week, we've had earthquakes, aftershocks as well. We had a 7.4 earthquake. And now we've had an 8.8. An 8.8. Don, you're funny. Don put up in the chat here for those of you that are just watching the program. There we were, standing in the headlights of a diesel. Then out of nowhere, wham, it knocked us under a bus running alongside. Are you truly ready for fantastic Freddy? That's hilarious. Guys, as Don Patoga said here in the chat, this channel is all about informational awareness. Informational awareness necessary for continuity and continued existence of humanity. We talk about emergencies and disasters. We talk about emergency preparedness as well. We talk about emergencies and disasters so you know what happens, what could happen, what does happen. That way, when it does happen to you, you're ready to face it. You have the knowledge, you have the preparedness abilities, the skills and everything to face whatever's going to happen. That is the most important part of our program. Situational awareness and preparedness actions. You need to get prepared. The least you can do are two things. One, write an emergency preparedness plan for yourself and your family. Two, make sure you have a preparedness kit, an emergency preparedness kit involving food, water, and also clothing and medical kit. Make sure you have a first aid kit and also get some first aid training. Those are the things you need to do. John Francis says we must help each other. I totally agree. We must help each other. Each one of us does that. Each one of us does that because we belong to Emergency Management Associates here on YouTube. We help each other. Absolutely we do. Any other comments or questions we have here? I appreciate you guys. I love you guys immensely. That's why we're here. We have 96 thumbs up. I thought we'd have more. 87 people still watching us. That's amazing. We appreciate each one of you. Lena Velcano's here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Guys, I am watching what is going on. Guam and American Samoa have another watch here. Watch number 5. I think what I'm going to do is go over to Samoa, American Samoa here, and I'll just read this to you. Man, it's hot. Okay, tsunami warning message number 5. The National Weather Service Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, Honolulu, Hawaii. The tsunami advisory continues in effect for American Samoa. An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 8.7 occurred off the east coast of Kamchatka Peninsula. We talked about that. A tsunami was generated by this earthquake. Based on all available data, there is a threat to American Samoa of sea level fluctuations and strong ocean currents that could be hazard along the shorelines and beaches, in harbors and coastal waters. The earliest estimated arrival that hazardous sea level fluctuations and strong currents may begin in American Samoa is 9:39 p.m. tonight. 9:39 p.m. SST, which I believe is Tsunami Standard Time tonight. 9:39 tonight, Samoa Standard Time. Recommended actions. Persons in the ocean should get out of the water. Persons near the ocean should move away from the beaches and harbors. Follow any instructions from the government agencies. Estimated times of arrival of the initial tsunami wave are given here. Swains Island, 9:39 p.m. Samoa time. All times are Samoa time. Fagasa, 10:04 p.m. Amanawe, Amanavi, 10:04. Leon, 10:04. Fagamalo, 10:04. Vatia, VATIA, 10:05. Pago Pago, 10:05. Ami, AUMI, 10:05. Tafuna, 10:06. Anua Island, 10:08. Tula, 10:08. Masafau, MASEFAU, 10:08. Pagai, PAGAI, 10:08. Ofu Island, 10:09. Olegasea, OLESEGA Island, Olasega Island, 10:09. Tau Island, Island 1011. That is in Samoa. Now, the following are tsunami wave observations from coastal or deep ocean sea level gauges at the indicated locations. Hanasaki, Hokkaido, Japan, 2:58 p.m., 12 inches. Dart, 46413. Dart 64th, any Dart location is a tsunami buoy. Dart 46413 has 6 inches. Kushiro, Japan, 1.1 feet, 13 inches. Dart 2014 or 2000, Dart 21415, 6 inches. Dart 21414, 9 inches. Dart 21416, 3 feet high. Sea level fluctuations are generally no more than 3 feet above and below the tide level. Minor flooding of beach and harbor areas, strong and unusual ocean currents in harbors, bays, and other nearshore waters. The hazard is forecast to begin around 9:39 p.m. Samoa Standard Time on Tuesday, July 29th, and it can persist for many hours or longer. Again, a magnitude 8.7 earthquake has occurred off the southeast coast of Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia, on the northwest side of the Pacific Ocean. The next message will be issued in 1 hour or sooner if the situation warrants. Further information about these events may be found on the internet at www.tsunami.gov. Authoritative information about the earthquake from the U.S. Geological Survey can be found on the internet at earthquake.usgs.gov. That is the update on Samoa area. Okay, they came out with advisory number 5 to Alaska, British Columbia, and the West Coast. I'm going to read you this information about Alaska, Canada, and the West Coast. The tsunami warning remains in effect. The tsunami advisory remains in effect. Tsunami warning in effect for California. The coast from Cape Mendocino, California to the Oregon-California border. The coast from Cape Mendocino, California to the Oregon-California border. The Aleutian Islands, Samalga Pass, Alaska, 30 miles southwest of Nikolsky, to Attu Island, Alaska, including Pribilof Islands. Tsunami advisory in effect for California. Coast from the California-Mexican border to Cape Mendocino, California, including San Francisco Bay. Oregon. The coast from Oregon-California border to the Oregon-Washington border, including the Columbia River estuary coast. Washington. The outer coast from Oregon-Washington border to Slip Point, Columbia River estuary coast, and the Juan de Fuca Strait coast. And the Juan de Fuca Strait coast. British Columbia, Canada. The north coast and Haida Gwaii. The central coast and northeast Vancouver Island. The outer west coast of Vancouver Island, the Juan de Fuca Strait coast. South Alaska and the Alaska Peninsula. The Pacific coast from Chignik Bay, Alaska to Unimak Pass, Alaska, 80 miles northeast of Unalaska. The Aleutian Islands. Unimak Pass, Alaska, 80 miles northeast of Unalaska to Samalga Pass, Alaska, 30 miles southwest of Nikolsky. And other U.S., Canadian, Pacific coast in North America, there is no tsunami threat. Again, for other U.S. and Canadian Pacific coast in North America, there are no other tsunami threats. Forecasted tsunami activity. Again, the tsunami activity has been generated. Trish Killian just gave us a $10 super chat. Trish, I'm giving you an EMA sticker on your super chat. Also, give me your thumbs up as well. Thank you, Trish, for that. God bless you for that. We really appreciate it. Let me get back to this tsunami advisory. The tsunami has been generated by the earthquake off the southeast coast of Kamchatka Peninsula. Forecast tsunami duration is the approximate length of time which the tsunami may produce dangerous currents and waves. Forecast maximum tsunami height is the expected water level above high tide. Forecasts are not provided for sites which have been impacted more than an hour prior to the time of this message. In other words, the other locations that we talked about on the other messages are not included here. St. Paul, Alaska, 6:55 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time, and I do not have the information about the difference between Eastern and Alaska Daylight Time. In Alaska, St. Paul, less than 1 foot high. British Columbia, Langara and Tofino, less than 12 inches high. Oregon, Port Orford, 11:35 p.m., 9 inches to 1.7 feet high. Charleston, 11:45 p.m., less than 12 inches. Brookings, Oregon, 11:50 p.m., 8 inches to 16 inches high. Seaside, Oregon, they do not have a level of tsunami there, but the tsunami level is supposed to hit at 11:55. Newport, Oregon, the same thing at 11:55, but there's no data for that wave level. Washington State, Wapush, 11:35, no data. Nia Bay, 11:40, less than 12 inches. Long Beach, 11:45, less than 12 inches. Westport, 11:50, less than 12 inches. Mole Clips, 11:50, less than 1 foot. Port Angeles, Port Townsend, Bellingham, and Tacoma, less than 12 inches. California, Fort Bragg, 11:50 p.m., 7 inches to 15 inches high. 7 to 15 inches high at Fort Bragg. Crescent City, 11:50 p.m., 2.6 feet to 4.8 feet. 2.6 to 4.8 feet high. That's high for Crescent City. That's huge. Monterey, 12:15 a.m., less than 12 inches. Port San Luis, 12:35, 2 feet to 3.7 feet. That's high. San Francisco, 12:40 a.m., less than 12 inches. Santa Barbara, 12:45 a.m., less than 12 inches. Los Angeles Harbor, Newport Beach, La Jolla in San Diego County, and Oceanside in North San Diego County, less than 1 foot. For San Francisco, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles Harbor, Newport Beach, La Jolla in San Diego County, and Oceanside in North San Diego County, less than 12 inches high. Observations of tsunami activity updated. Observed maximum tsunami height is the highest recorded water level above sea level, above tide level, up to the time of this message. Kamchatka, Alaska, 8 inches high. Adak, Alaska, 9 inches high. Kushiro, Japan, 13 inches high. Abashira, Japan, 7 inches high. Hanasaki, Japan, 13 inches high. Nikolsky, Russia, 2 inches high. Preliminary earthquake parameters again, an 8.8 earthquake. An 8.8 revised earthquake earlier today off the southeast coast of Kamchatka, the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. Recommended actions. See last message for message number 4. We've given you that information. Impacts, the same thing as message number 4. Refer to the internet site Tsunami.gov for more information. Pacific coastal residents outside California, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, and Alaska should refer to the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center at Tsunami.gov, and that's it. This message will be updated within 60 minutes. I've given you the latest information, guys. It's there. It's there. Do we have any questions? Don Patoka says, today is the tomorrow we were worried about yesterday. Isn't that the truth? That's funny, Don. That's funny. Create says, phone lines are super busy. I can't reach my husband anymore. I'm sorry. Create, where do you live? Do you live in California? Where do you live? I'd like to know. Grammy Duncan says, excellent advice, Don. Yes. I agree. Yeah, Catherine Sigurdsson says, stay calm, create, breathe. I agree. Create, what part of the world do you live in? He's in Maui. Wow. Yeah, well, they may see waves as high as 3 feet. That's a good point. Create is in Florida. Her husband's in Maui. Wow. Yeah, they've said that they may have waves as high as 3 feet high. And I'm sure they put out the information on the island of Maui. They have a good emergency manager now. The governor of Hawaii is useless. Governor of Hawaii is totally useless. Catherine Sigurdsson in central Canada, in Saskatchewan, Canada, says they have a new fire 20 kilometers away. Catherine, we ask the Lord to bless you and protect all of you and your neighbors and friends over there in Saskatchewan. I've been around fires. I've fought fires for a while myself. I've been at fires because I was a cop. As a cop, I was asked to set up a communications command post at fires in Southern California. Unfortunately, I know too much about fires. You have our blessings, Crate. We appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot. You know the questions, guys. Don Patoka says the 10 most terrifying words in the English language are, I am from the government and I'm here to help. Ronald Reagan said that. In fact, I heard that message in a video earlier this week. I think it was on Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. 10 most terrifying words in the English language are, I am from the government. I'm here to help. If you ever hear that from a government employee, run. Run the other direction. Do not open your door. Slam your door and shut it and lock it. Don't trust the government. I don't trust the government. I used to be one of the employees. Juanito from El Centro, California. Juanito, welcome here. God bless you. Juanito says he hopes it's not bad if it gets close to San Diego. Have lots of family in Ensenada. Wow. I've been to Ensenada so many times, it's not funny. I visited Ensenada when I was the scoutmaster of a troop from Vista, California. Visited there several times. Visited from Poway, California as well. I visited as a tourist. I went and took a cruise ship from San Diego to Ensenada one day actually. We left San Diego Bay at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, cruised down to Ensenada, walked around Ensenada for about 2 hours, got back on the boat. We served dinner on the boat and came back to San Diego. It was a short cruise. It was great. I loved Ensenada. I really love Ensenada now. I used to love Ensenada. It was a great place. John Francis said he saw some footage from 1982 President Reagan and President Ferdinand Marcos in the Philippines. Those were good days, I agree. Those were really great days. Catherine Sigerson says she swears they're burning down the Indian reservations in Canada. They might very well be doing that. The Democrat communists in Canada and the United States don't care about the Indians. They don't care about themselves. How can they care about anybody? The Democrat communists don't care about anybody, not even themselves. You can't care about anybody else if you don't even care about yourself. That's my philosophy. My dad taught me that, and I stand by it today. Don Patoka says that patience is the ability to idle your engine when you feel like stripping your gears. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. Does anybody else have any comments? I don't think we're going to hear anything from Tsunami.gov the rest of the night. If we do, it's going to be sometime in the middle of the night, sometime probably around 1 a.m. I don't expect another advisory from Tsunami.gov at least until 1 a.m. If there's any major changes, I will be coming back on there to tell you about it. Sergey says some Republicans too. I agree. Unreal. And criminal illegals, yeah. Arlo, you're absolutely right. Illegal criminals, yes. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to call it quits. I do not think we're going to have any major upheaval or any difference in what we've already told you. There is a tsunami advisory for the west coast of Canada and the United States and over in Hawaii and even down into Samoa and Tonga area. Okay, upwards of 3 to 4 feet of water in the Tonga Samoa area, 3 feet of water in Hawaii. And we don't really think it'll go above that at all. I appreciate everyone who's been here. I appreciate if you help support us by subscribing to our channel and also hit that little bell icon. Click on that little bell icon and that will drop down a menu of 3 items. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on there, but be advised, YouTube doesn't like us. YouTube does not like to notify everybody. Rob52 does not hardly get notified anymore. Don Patoka and I both have been knocked off this channel. I'm the owner of the channel. I've been cut off. Unfortunately, I put it on this channel. I know when I'm on the air. But Don Patoka, he has to keep unsubscribing, resubscribing. Those of you that are subscribed, if you find yourself unsubscribed, resubscribe and also hit that little bell icon again. That will get you notified when we come on the air, at least for a short time. Folks, I love you. I want to thank everybody that has given us donations here tonight, both in Super Chat and anybody that's given us PayPal donations as well. I want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. We appreciate the donations to help us keep us on the air. I want to thank you. Tomorrow, we will be on the air, probably normal time, just after 4 p.m. Eastern time here on the East Coast. We probably won't do a members only video tomorrow because I don't get out of the doctor's office until at least 12. That's been typical when I've gotten out of the doctor's office. This is just a routine appointment. Nothing but a routine appointment tomorrow. But it usually takes me about an hour or hour and a half to 2 hours to get out. Okay? I will get home probably within 15 or 20 minutes after that. Then I will clean up. Yeah, I'll clean up from being in the doctor's office, wash up, eat something, and get directly on top of the work at hand, including the remnants of this earthquake in Kamchatka Peninsula and anything else that's happened. We've had a very strong 6.6 in Guatemala. We've had other 6s and 5s around the world we talked about earlier on a broadcast. We will update you with information as it becomes available. We love you. Thank you for tuning in to Emergency Management Associates. I care about you all. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side.